District Attorney Sandra Dorley, Sheriff Todd Baxter. My name is Chris Chichester. I live in Rochester, New York. I'm an innocent man. These are your payrolls I acquired using Freedom of Information law. I'm going to read for however long this YouTube lasts. This is the District Attorney's office. This is the Sheriff's office. I'm going to play momentarily an app called TikTok that I use about $85,000 Don Benedetto and Michael Houlihan walking onto the private property of my 72-year-old neighbor and waiting for me to come out of my residence at midnight 2 years ago. That I've sent to your office. And I've also included when I contact you via Gmail and Proton Mail. But I'm going to play it here because this is what I'm going to tell the United States Department of Justice about Michael Houlihan and Don Benedetto. These are psychopaths you employ who are stalking me in Penfield, New York. Michael Houlihan is a perjurer. And I've told you this now, Todd Baxter, repeatedly. On January 24th, 2023, here's all your emails up here, here's Psychopaths Incorporated. I sent to you from chris.chichesterju4@gmail.com. January 24th, Sandra Dorley, District Attorney, 47 South Fitzhugh Street, Rochester, New York, 14604. Todd Baxter, Sheriff, 130 South Plymouth Avenue, Rochester, New York, 1420604. You're freaks. That's the perfect definition of you. You do not know what constitutes a criminal act at the Sheriff's office. That's why you, Todd Baxter, you spent your 30-plus years of your life as a pathetic cop. All you know is being a pathetic cop. You, Sandra Dorley, have to have a conviction integrity unit because this is a citizen in jail. I just told you why you're freaks, and there are 500 other reasons why you're freaks. And so have all your employees here. So right here, fanaticism, Sheriff Todd Baxter, District Attorney Sandra Dorley, Judge Alex Ramsey, perjurer. He lied under oath, saying I swung a hammer at him on my back porch. Michael C. Houlihan, $73,312. Call Michael C. Houlihan into your office, Todd Baxter, and ask him what he's doing on the private property of my neighbor. I believe I know the answer, and that's the lunatic fringe. Todd Baxter, I never stopped running. As I never stopped running, I could not stop and swing a hammer at $73,000 Michael C. Houlihan or $85,000 Don Benedetto because they would have ran right into me. He lied when he said I swung a hammer at him. He perjured himself to the grand jury convened by Michelle Crowley. And this is what I'm going to tell the Department of Justice. And when I write the Freedom of Information law, Michelle Crowley, demanding every single detail of that grand jury, I've only done it in a general way, you will refuse. Are there minutes of the grand jury where you, if you're the assistant district attorney in the grand jury and asking Michael Houlihan about the facts and circumstances of that night, is there a transcript? You ask Houlihan a question and he responds, you see the full transcript. What's the answer to that question, Michelle Crowley? So violence, Sheriff Todd K. Baxter, $75,904, Richard J. Seidman. This is a sociopath, a psychopath. He's any number of things who violently attacked me at the Penfield Public Library. So this is me on an app called TikTok. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. It's only 3 minutes. This is about Don Benedetto.
Sheriff Todd Baxter. My name is Christopher Chichester. I've never committed a crime. For 3+ years, I've described you as a fanatic, a degenerate, and a sociopath. And I've provided you example after example on YouTube, now on TikTok, and in writing, where employees have signed for it, registered bearer term receipt, on why you're a fanatic, a degenerate, and a sociopath. You, Sheriff Todd K. Baxter, are a fanatic, degenerate, sociopath because you employed $85,000 Don Benedetto. $85,000 Don Benedetto on August 28th, 2020, with his fellow psychopath with the last name Houlihan, hid on the private property of my elderly neighbor waiting for me to exit the residence. I exit the residence. These two psychopaths from your office, Psychopaths Incorporated, come running at me in the middle of the night. I turn around and run away. And as I'm a runner, it's extremely easy to outrun your fellow degenerates that are 20, 30, and 40 pounds overweight. So when I turned around and started to run, Todd K. Baxter, party-switching fraud and extremist, I never stopped running. Now, since I'm still slightly confused as to what's chasing me, even though I think I know what it is, there's a hammer alongside my back porch that I grabbed. Pay attention. You disgusting, sickening, nauseating hack and criminal. I pick up the hammer. I continue to run. I never stop running. I'm going to negotiate from going from the side of the porch, up the steps, through the sliding glass door, which I will be successful at doing. I'm running the whole time. Benedetto and Houlihan are behind me. I step on the first of the 3 steps to run through the sliding glass door across the back porch. Houlihan grabs my arm, the hammer goes up, I pull away, I run through the sliding glass door. That's what happened. I'm charged in the fantasy land of Houlihan's head with attempted felony assault. When I didn't attempt to assault Houlihan, Benedetto, or anybody, because I ran the whole time. You bald-headed, skinhead fascist. Do you understand me? And this is on the body camera of Houlihan or Benedetto or both, because when I went to the public defender's office, Christina Harper played it for me. Why do you still employ $85,000 Don Benedetto and Houlihan? Because psychopaths incorporated that you are, Todd Baxter, are psychopaths. And you surround yourself by psychopaths with these 2 freaks. So Todd Baxter, you know who told me attempted felony assault's not a crime? Alex Renzi in the New York State Supreme Court. And I was in Livingston County Jail for this concoction. Without a jury in Penfield Town Court, without a prosecutor talking. So Todd Baxter, fire $85,000 Don Benedetto, fire Houlihan, and you're not going to do a goddamn thing. You party-switching stooge and criminal.
Are you confused? Why I call you a fanatic, degenerate, sociopath? So I'm going to send to the United States Department of Justice when I have the transcripts done. Shouldn't be confused when I say you're freaks on here. I'm being stalked in Penfield, New York by Michael Houlihan and Don Benedetto. These links here. January 26th, you got them all. Fanaticism, perjury, violence, rejection, accountability. All these links here, you got it. I sent it to your office here on January 18th. Rejection and accountability came to your office, where I'm telling you this includes identification by prosecutor's silence. This is a foil I used on January 18th that I've been using for 18 months. Where I'm demanding you disclose my prosecutors of silence, and you're refusing every time. This is a Freedom of Information law that is blank. I will send this to you, I believe, at least 3 times in the next 7 days, demanding you disclose the names of my prosecutors. All 3 times in the next 7 days. If I do it that way, you will refuse because you're corrupt. So these are the payrolls here for the sheriff's office and district attorney's office. It's in no particular order as far as these salaries from highest to lowest. Then I'm going to read right now. I'm going to start with the sheriff's office. Ronald W. Harling, $95,921.37. Kristen Cavallo, $60,594.80. Christopher S. Galena, $87,631.96. Michael J. Zamira, $87,631.96. Brendan P. Hurley, $82,428.58. Andrew M. Soki, $118,678. Kevin L. Schopel, $116,350. Andrew W. Shorkey, $96,972. Alyssa A. Kulowski, $46,201. Kara Gillenfeld, $51,172. Corey K. Brown, $155,366. Who makes more money than you, Todd Baxter, not just by $2,000, what he used to. You gave him a $20,000+ raise. Corey Brown. Nobody elected Corey Brown to anything, and he's paid more money than you Benito Mussolini skinhead. Amy Michelle Young, $93,127. Paul V. Ciminelli, $121,987. Mateo J. Bracco, $51,776. Kim A. Hinckley, $121,987. Lynn Marie Chia Pirelli, $39852. Alexander F. Hinckley, $43,996. Robert Keith Anderson, $95921. Torrance Jones, $90,0323. Frank A. DeCino, $51,189. Maria Cup, $41,916. Todd M. Ellsbury, $73,535. Philip Gambado, $119,232. Andrew Miller, $73,535. Blake A. Phillips, $72,839. Ronald F. Pratt Jr., $84,492. Kimberly A. Bryant, $46,201. Joshua A. Brandt, $72,839. Andrew M. Laughlin, $72,838. Catherine A. Smith, $61,807. Joseph D. Chiminino, $69,595. And Andrea M. Teleska, $64,014. Mary Louise Mazzera, $34,618. Cynthia D. Chislett, $41,434. Sean D. Leclerc, $118,678. Eric P. Norcross, 8477. August Mergillo, 75544. Gregory S. Wildman, 97427. Peter J. Zambuto, 118678. Michael T. Fowler, 163877. Michael T. Fowler was paid $31,000 more than you as the duly elected sheriff of Monroe County. How is this explained to Controller Thomas P. DiNapoli when I go to him? How is this explained to the Democrat and Chronicle? It's a ridiculous newspaper, doesn't hold you accountable for anything. I'll go to them nonetheless, including radio and TV. Jeffrey C. Wagner, 145,906. Jeffrey C. Wagner's also paid more money than you by $13,000. I believe that's a new name. Matthew S. Whiting, 83,684. Jennifer L. Curley, 7849. Frederick S. Bancroft III, 128590. Eric P. Perkins, 83,684. Linda P. Sweeting, 54,323. Amy L. Somerville, 4621. Todd W. Thurston, 82428. Jason H. Carboni, 82043. Timothy P. Decker, 84077. David J. Gutzmer, 99704. Edward G. Cerrone, 84470. Scott P. Alberti, 132213. Andrew Reale, $84,077. Michael V. Macri, 84470. James P. Morse, 97427. Brian H. Underborn, 118678. Jason P. Handel, 84077. Michael P. Thomas, 118123. Matthew C. Clancy, 96972. Salvatore Lattori, 83684. Stephen D. Stepnick, 83684. Richard P. Tantolo, 83684. Bethany A. Maston, 83684. Michael R. Mum, 83684. Zachary J. Gibson, 83684. Kelly M. Valvasori, 82043. Michael P. Enright, 83684. Michael P. Enright. Joseph P. Masai, 83684. Brian J. Shepard, 96972. Caitlin E. Stevens, 83291. Charles J. Carroll Jr., 91242. Paolo Severa, 83291. Kelly A. Cardwell, 39825. Mark W. Smegdelski, 81658. Nicholas R. Fagan, 83291. Erica Henderson, 83291. Aaron M. Beach, 79325. Matthew R. Casillo, 83291. Harrison J. Donovan, 83291. Nicole A. Bott, 83291. Timothy R. Murphy, 83291. Dalton T. Pasmer, 83291. Amanda W. Pratt, 83291. Matthew J. Wilsey, 83291. Justin E. Cohen, 83291. Ryan I. Burke, 83291. Karen L. Teeter, 81658. Nicholas R. Mahoney, 83291. Joseph T. Judd, 81658. Landon M. Alvarado, 83291. How's the morale at the sheriff's office? Because it's human nature to be in a rage about an employee you believe that you're superior to at work, and that employee makes more money than you. Alexander P. Brooks, 83291. David K. Newman, 83291. Allison M. Kendall, 77079. Gerald S. Ludwig, 73312. Haley E. Beers, 69546. David Joshua Bowman, 6296. Joshua M. DeRuder, 118678. Christopher J. Chambry, 82428. Matthew P. McBride, 84077. John W. Scribnick, 97427. Matthew M. Cruiser, 118678. Christopher R. Fay, 132213. Jeremy M. Remchuk, 84077. Jonathan W. Strong, 84470. Michael J. Abate, 97882. Matthew J. Batone, 96972. Brian A. Dijic, 96972. Daniel J. Koski, 96972. Dwayne A. Palmer, 71177. Brian P. Cassidy, 82043. Lauren R. Udicious, 83684. Christopher R. Bay, 96972. Nicole Marie Perillo, 83684. Jesse D. Melly, 83684. William N. Parks, 82043. Jonathan N. Baker, 83684. David K. Wood, 83291. David P. Celeste, 83291. Darrell P. Quinn, 8934. Jennifer A. Link, 39825. Justin T. Smith, 83291. Aaron G. Johnstone, 83291. Joseph A. Pinto, 83291. Casey W. Burns, 83291. Mary Kristen Redmond, 83291. Eric Thomas, 79324. Nicole O'Grady, 67520. Corey A. Bourne, 83291. Luke E. Zaporowski, 83291. Stephen H. Osbinkowski, 83291. Ming H. Sao, 83291. Justin A. Overend, 83291. Jacob P. Van Sluten, 79324. Brett L. Boyle, 71572. Jonathan R. Engelbrecht, 73312. Carly E. Neal, 73212. Braden T. Passmore, 73212. How's the morale at the Sheriff's Office? Dennis Quinn M. Ennis, 73312. Christopher J. Piper, 69781. Dennis Patrick Bassel, 78576. Eric P. Allen, 59087. Chelsea Marie Borino, 6296. Nicholas James Cooper, 6296. Dana Argett, 6296. Samantha Marie Simononi, 6296. David John Blalo, 74834. Jordan Rappa, 71177. Tracy E. Waits, 43108. Edward G. Boss, 8477. Patricio Rojas Jr., 129620. Benjamin J. Milos, 95517. Kenneth R. Weber, 95517. Dean E. Tudhill, 1215451. Nathan A. Clark, 85077. Brian E. Wooden, 82043. Derek J. Cattell, 84077. Jonathan V. Payne, 83684. George W. Wilsick, 93972. Michael J. Florak, 82043. Jeffrey M. Cookingham, 83684. Anthony Mazinga, 96972. Alexa Ray Chishore, 6296. Bart M. Dambra Jr., 83684. Nicholas J. Interlicia, 83684. Christopher J. Bell, 83684. Kaylin H. Toomey, 91673. Daniel J. Berardi, 83291. Stephen P. Murphy, 96516. James R. Shaw Jr., 83291. Matthew R. Dominski, 83291. Parker J. Blackburn, 83291. Jason T. Rosenberg, 83291. Zachary S. Wakefield, 73367. Kyle J. Barrett, 83658. Michael A. Bettman, 83291. James A. Griffiths, 82291. Scott W. Jolly, 83291. Joshua P. Aldinger, 83291. Jared A. Doherty, 83291. Christopher J. Santillo, 83291. Adam J. Christ, 81685. David C. Wood, 83291. Eric T. Hayes, 83291. Matthew J. Thompson, 83291. How's the morale at the Sheriff's Office? Because it's human nature being raised by someone you believe you're superior to at work, and that employee makes more money than you. Jamie L. Wooden, 83291. Joseph A. Corona, 83291. Brett L. Rogers, 77769. Shannon M. Meyer, 83291 and 42 cents. This is the revolting freak. This is the first freak that should be fired. A warrant for my arrest for walking through a parking lot I've walked through 4,000 times. This is how she sets me up, you Benito Mussolini scanhead. When I have not committed a crime, I have never committed a crime. And I've been an innocent man my whole life because I have been in handcuffs now for the first time in my life from this revolting sick hack, Shannon Meyer, that you gave a $16,000 raise to. I'm walking through the parking lot 2+ years ago for the 4,000th time. You can see from Penfield Road that my neighbors walk through, that Penfield High School students in their red athletic apparel walk through, that Penfield High School band students walk through carrying their instruments, that my elderly neighbor walks through, who's 72 years old, that my ex-son Fred Adam walks through. There's a parade of individuals walking through the parking lot beginning at 7 o'clock until midnight, because when I sit on my couch, I can avert my eyes and I see people walking through this parking lot. So I'm returning from, I believe it was Gold's Gym one day, my back, to Neeraj Shah, this 50-year-old man who lives with his 70-year-old mother, and he starts to scream at me, and this is what he doesn't tell. You're a revolting freak, Shannon Meyer, that you gave a $16,000 raise from $67,000 to $83,000. That he's screaming at me, that he's inside his car, and I've sent you what happened here. This is it. You got this over and over, where I took this document here that is a sickening lie. This is it right here, the warrant for my arrest. And I took each sentence and I responded to it. This freak can't even write the English language. I'm not going to read this, but she says. This is the first line from this freak. This is why she's a freak. She can't even write the English language. Todd Baxter, this Shannon Meyer. Quote, On the above dated approximately 1440 HRS, I responded to the above location for the report of a male trespassing. When your freak goes to talk to this 50-year-old mother's boy, does she have the intellectual capacity to understand when she looks at the parking lot that people are going to walk through it all day? And if there's a warrant for my arrest, if you warrant for the arrest for every single person that walks through this parking lot, as I said in here over and over, where's my 14th Amendment right to equal protection laws? There were events at Penfield High School, and then there was the fireworks at Harris Whalen Park in, I think, 2019. After the fireworks, 500 people walked through this parking lot that were just behind me. And that night when I got home, I'm watching people walk through this parking lot. And I contacted you the next day on YouTube, and then I wrote about it. How do you possibly have this freak around you? How do you possibly give this freak a $16,000 raise? And it has an answer. One, you're corrupt, and two, you're the blue wall silence. So I have to look here where I left off with her name, this revolting freak, Shannon Meyer. And I'm looking at here because I'm seeing other names on here that I'm about to get to. I'm thinking about what I'm going to say because there are two names on here that are just as revolting and sick as $83,291 Shannon Meyer. I'll get to momentarily. Lawrence C. Strapp, 83,291. Eric M. Brace, 83,291. Brody A. Egan, 77,079. Jacob K. Napier, 68,182. Philip L. Christopher, 73,312. Michael C. Houlihan, 73,312. He's a perjurer. Now, Todd Baxter, I'm going to send you the transcript to this, where this arrived at your office on January 26th. You see this here? What I have, all these links? It was tracked. This is the UPS. So when I say that Michael Houlihan is a perjurer, I'm going to tell you how. Language requires precision. And I understand the gravity of calling and describing a sworn officer's law of perjurer. Michael C. Houlihan's a perjurer. And I explained it on here, along with Richard J. Seaman, who violently attacked me at the Penfield Public Library, and other information. $73,312 Michael C. Houlihan. I exit my residence in Penfield at 26 Sands Farm Drive. $85,000 Don Benedetto and $73,000 Michael C. Houlihan come running at me. Pay attention, you Benito Mussolini stooge and clone. I never stopped running when I began to run away. And he doesn't tell any of this to Michelle Crowley. She impounded the grand jury when I don't know the grand jury's convened and I'm not called to testify for the grand jury because I'm the ham sandwich of the Monroe County District Attorney's Office. I run alongside my res with Benedetto and Houlihan running at me. I grab a hammer alongside my res I used to fix my bike. I run up the back porch. My foot goes on the first of the 3 steps. Houlihan grabs my arm. Michael Houlihan grabs my arm. The hammer goes up and pull away and run through the sliding glass door. I never stopped running. He went back to the district attorney's office, sheriff's office, and lied and said I swung a hammer at him. Pay attention, Todd Baxter. Since I'm coordinated, and I've been an athlete since I was in high school, if I swung a hammer at $73,000 Michael C. Houlihan, he would have been unconscious on my back porch because I would not have missed. Do you understand what I just said, Todd Baxter? If I swung the hammer at him, it would have crashed down upon his head and he would have been unconscious on my back porch. I have never, in my long life of 57 years, ever engaged in violence. He is a nauseating, sickening, revolting, corrupt cop that you love to have around, Todd Baxter, because you're a nauseating, sickening, corrupt cop. So, Carly M. Schillinger, 73,312. Brandon Koenig, 71,875. Nicole E. Pagano, 73,312. Cody Reed, Burns, 6296. Blakely Charles Schurtz, 6296. Daniel W. Phillip, 83,684. Daniel J. Salura, 84,077. Caroline M. Josh, 82,428. David W. Pruitt, 97,075. Sean A. Moore, 78,576. John D. Orberger, 97,075. Joseph J. Furpo, 97,427. Lee Y. LaRoque, 97,075. 2 people decided to get into my residence. This 40-plus pounds overweight, $97,000 fat girl, and $28,000 Paul Singh. That's from Penfield Town Court. Paul C. Metzer, I again received the document that's not a search warrant that you sat in Little Penfield Town Court and typed. There's no affidavit, there's no marker, there's no seal. But most importantly, besides the appearance of the document that you typed in Penfield Town Court and handed to Lee LaRoque, and she went to my landlord, Giuseppe Spano and Anthony Spano, and that's how Lee LaRoque gets to my residence. When I send that to the United States Department of Justice, Paul C. Metzer, I'm confident the employees of the United States Department of Justice will conclude that this is absurd and criminal because there's no probable cause, and the document to me doesn't have the required affidavits on it. Paul C. Metzer, what's the probable cause? And who came to you to say that there was probable cause, if in fact it exists? There has to be probable cause, Paul C. Metzer, for a search warrant to be executed to get into my residence. So what is it, and who came to you about getting into my residence? What's the driving force reason for a search warrant to be executed to get into my residence? That's a laughable concoction. You, Lee LaRoque, call my residence apart. I've said this over and over, and you exit with my Chromebook. You $97,000 fat girl, Lee LaRoque. Mail my Chromebook back to me. 620 Park Avenue, PMB 361, Rochester, New York, 14604. Where's my Chromebook? You went to the hard drive and you read my emails or examined my Chromebook because you're trying to concoct a crime for me using my Chromebook. How do you possibly put that Chromebook in your hand and walk out of my residence? How many of you were in my residence? How many of you psychopaths, sociopaths, and fanatics were in my residence? The bed was overturned. Every drawer in the dresser my father gave me from when he was a child in Brooklyn was pulled open. The cabinets in the upstairs bathroom were pulled open. My clothes from the spare bedroom were on the floor. My dress screens for 17 Cavalry 101st Airborne Division were on the floor. Downstairs, I had papers and folders. 1,000 plus papers were thrown on the floor. The couch is pulled out from the side of from the wall inside. My books have 1,000 plus books. My books are on the floor. 500 plus my books are on the floor. You went down into the basement. You're moving things around in the basement, including my bikes. How many of you psychopaths were in my residence, Lee LaRoque? I'm going to write this down and demand answers from you. And you know what I'm going to hear from you, Lee LaRoque? The blue wall silence. So, Alexander F. Matilde, 97,427. Jason C. Ciroli, 84077. Gregory M. Prokop, 95616. Carl J. Zimmerman, 99704. David W. Bold, 95963. Vincent A. Reed Jr., 84470. Keith E. Ball, 99704. Thomas M. Rowe, 129798. Is he a new employee? I don't recognize him, Thomas M. Rowe. What I'm hearing now is another siren in Rochester, New York. And that's in all likelihood because of the violence crashing down on this city. I lived in Washington, D.C. for 5 years on C Street right next to the Capitol. I lived in Albany, New York on State Street right next to the Capitol. And that siren I'm hearing right now, I don't know if you can hear it on my laptop. There are no sirens going through the Capitol of New York and Albany like there are in Rochester like I hear right now. There are no sirens going through the Capitol Universe in Washington, D.C. like there are right now. That's because of the violence in Rochester that you, Todd Baxter, are not doing a goddamn thing about. So, I believe I left off at Thomas M. Rowe, 129798. Jeffrey Brannigan, 97075. Daniel J. Luffman, 86041. Kevin M. Bailey, 97075. Alan P. Petrosky, 97075. Andrew D. Belmont, 95616. James J. Coco, 97075. Christopher J. Cooper, 84077. Christopher R. Reynolds, 96972. Jeffrey A. Sharns, 96621. John D. Watson, 118133. I believe that's a new name. I could be incorrect. I'm going to write a Freedom of Information law and demand your payrolls of 6-month periods since your Nuremberg rally in January 2018 so I compare the races. I know you refuse. And I believe if Thomas T. DiNapoli told you and ordered you to send your payrolls to him in 6-month periods, you would still refuse. Are you bringing in employees like John D. Watson and paying employees like him $118,123, which is more than your employees that have been there for 5, 10, or 15 years? I don't know. I do not know if this is a previous name. It could be, and I could be incorrect. So, Michael J. Montagno, 91321. Stephen D. Williams, 84077. Stephen J. Thompson, 83684. Gary M. Carpino, 95172. Philip C. Greener, 95517. Ramona L. Sutherland, 97075. How's the morale at the sheriff's office? Are you doing good? Know what everybody's paid because I'm reading this? Perhaps you already know what everybody's paid. I could be incorrect. Philip J. Trubia, 95,171. Michael J. Shannon, 97,075. Christopher W. Toscano, 83,684. Adam T. Stefanik, 96,621. Christopher P. Brock, 82,043. Josh B. Carlson, 82,043. Trevor B. Hibbard, 96,621. Ryan A. Petruccio, 83,684. Ryan P. Moore, 83,291. Derek G. Smith, 96,168. Joshua D. Prance, 83,291. Michael G. Vanro, 82,384. Brian C. McCoy, 83,291. Ryan W. Arnold, 83,291. Kevin G. Cooper, 83,291. William J. Macklin, 83,291. Caitlin D. Richardson, 83,291. Eric Bisupri, Mezzo Pret, 97,529. Philip R. Fantaza, 84,470. Michael J. Favada, 82,074. Ryan W. Buttles, 97,517. Shawnee Mayo, 81,658. Kadia H. Fong, 83,291. Dominique M. Forster, 89,34. Bradley Fisher, 95,518. Zachary J. Smallwood, 84,077. Christian A. Davini, 95,963. Christopher E. Ron, 97,427. Matthew T. Young, 82,428. Clayton D. Hillinger, 83,684. Michael T. Anderson, 96,972. Alexandra E. Baker, 83,291. William J. Connell IV, 81,658. Brett J. Zawitsky, 81,658. Matthew C. Winter, 83,291. Trevor Ott, 83,291. George F. Cleary, 81,658. Carl R. Deal, 83,291. Tyler J. Ammo, 81,658. Eric M. Williams, 84,077. Sean D. Edwards, 97,882. Donald J. Green II, 82,428. Wendy D. Cron, 84,077. Brandon D. Gulisano, 82,428. Mark Antonio G. Sanfilippo, 82,043. Eric J. Willman, 89,34. Timothy C. Lane, 83,684. How's the morale doing? These are bizarre salaries. Todd Baxter, why don't you just pay your employees $50,000, $55,000, $60,000, $62,000, an even number? Because you're a freak. That's why. That's the answer. It has an answer. You've been a freak your whole life. You've been a freak cop your whole life, Todd Baxter. Nicholas D. Perillo, 83,684. Michael R. Otley, 83,684. Daniel J. Forster, 96,972. Daniel C. Root, 83,683. Andrew J. Charvat, 83,291. Nicholas J. Starr, 83,291. Sherry A. Tehan, 59,560. Paul M. Penner, 59,560. Mary V. Delella, 53,587. Jason R. Eliato, 82,429. I think he's with your Monroe County Sheriff's Office Police Benevolent Association, so I'm going to be in contact with him about violence raining down on me because of your Monroe County Sheriff's Office. I'm interested to see what he has to say when I tell him about how Richard J. Seaman and your other psychopaths have attacked me. So Matthew J. McKenzie, 97,427. Daniel J. Staub, 97,882. April L. Smith, 84,077. Christian Lynn Kiefer, 84,077. Michael N. Meninochi, 84,470. John S. D. Martino, 84,354. Michael G. Pratt, 83,684. Caitlin V. Colburn, 83,684. Shauna D. Kubiati, 83,684. Ryan T. Fisher, 83,684. Brian D. McCarthy, 97,972. Brian N. Callahan, 83,291. Mary Frank A. Stop Carr, 57,506. Mark M. Neitz, 81,199. Alan J. Wilkins, 87,631. Peter Mofardin, 75,904. Michael S. Simonelli, 75,904. Alan R. Wills, 88,059. Jason D. Tripoli, 127,253. Salvatore Amatori, 127,252. Neil A. Delasanti, 75,904. James Labruto, 75,904. Greg D. Willen, 75,544. Michael J. Amico, 75,544. Jeffrey T. Lamartino, 116,351. Providence E. Crowder, 129,798. Jonathan L. Crumley, 75,544. Michael A. Pront, 75,544. Maurice Leone, 163,877. Maurice Leone is paid $31,000 more than you because you decided to pay Maurice Leone $31,000 more than you. Are you confused? Well, I accurately state and describe you, Sheriff Todd Baxter, as corrupt. You will never know you're corrupt. Christopher J. Shellard, 132,213, the same salary that you're paid. So the last two names I read is somebody who's paid $31,000 more than you and someone who's paid your salary of 132. And then the next two are individuals who pay more money than you. Edward L. Krenzer, Jr., 14305, James McGowan, 145906, Patrick M. Ashley, 87631, Dale P. Fair, 81588, Stephen J. Chiminelli, Chinapi, 81199, Scott M. Bevilacqua, 87214, Carolyn C. DeRusi, 87214. How's the morale at the Sheriff's Office? Sandra A. Brucci, 42011, Brian J. Simonelli, 80811, Dawn M. Gubbiotti, 42044, Joseph T. Aquilina, 68444, Kevin E. Villanueva Feliciano, 71962, Ann M. Kennedy, 35318, Shannon L. Woods, 75544, Joel Tadeo, 75904, Wanda Johnson Bell, 75904, Kenneth McNeil, 75544, Chevelle L. Thomas, 75544, John DeMarco, 75904, Peter Durante, 75904, Richard G. Miller, 75544, Stephen R. Parmalee, 75904, Charles Rotuno, 75904, Devin W. Clute, 75544, Sally E. Newton, 75544, Jody T. Luther, 87631, William J. McLaren, 75904, James Corbett, 75904, Sean M. Johnson, 75544, Timothy J. Kemp, 75944, Benjamin W. Breedlove, 75544, Cynthia R. Walkman, 75904, John Papa, 75904, Vincent C. Petrao, 75904, Matthew Scally, 81588, Douglas A. Bailey, 75544, Joseph C. Ranowitz, 75184, Jeffrey D. Radburn, 75184, Jeffrey S. Wiles, 75184, Anthony C. Longboat, 75184, Jeremy R. Romiano, 75184, Shane T. Yeager, 75184, Michael L. Kern, 75184, Admir Hamzik, 74824, Philip J. Pizzangrelli, 88110, Jonathan Sanford at 74824, Darrell Lee Schoen, 74824, Troy J. Crevier, 68444, Reno A. Colino Jr., 62625, Sammy Hassan Jr., 71962, Anthony C. Cruz, 71962, Caitlin A. Lander, 71962, Jason P. DeWin, 68444, Justin P. Moore, 68440. How's the morale at the Sheriff's Office? This is natural to be in a rage about someone who's paid more money than you at work, a significant amount, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, and you think you're superior to that person. Jamie P. Brown, 68440, Michael J. Bitterman, 68440, Anthony Argolino, 62635, Zachary T. Bernier, 62635, Sabra W. Hickam, 57506, Jennifer L. Rivers, 86538, Joshua T. Lynn, 54323, Carmen L. Ringo, 43807, Tadell Alaya, Patricia Sims Cochran, 48497, Jacob Phillips, 42011, Cheryl A. Wilcox, 45573, Michael A. Stignita, 75184, Kevin D. Boople, 75904, Robert D. Costello, 75544, Clinton Barber, 75904, Kenneth G. Nicolay, 75544, James J. Hoyle, 75544, Stephen J. Chapin, 75904, Mario M. Gentili, 75904, Joanne P. Oliver, 75544, Dean Wunsch, 75904, Sean P. Moore, 75904, Thomas Kennedy, 75905, Eric A. Thompson, 75904, Trevor Davis, 75904, Jennifer Farina, 116350, Santi Kuyoshi, 75904, Randy G. Gagnier, 75904, Nicole M. Vanderwalker, 75904, Xavier E. Rabbi, 75944, Richard J. Seatman, $75,904.40. Richard J. Seatman is a sociopath, a fanatic, psychopath, degenerate. He's any number of those things. I was being stalked in Penfield, New York, by Richard J. Seatman, his $75,904.40 salary. I leave my residence where I used to live at 26 Sanders Farm Drive. I walk down Penfield Road to Bad Road. I walk into the Penfield Public Library at 1985 Bad Road. I stand up at the computer. What I've said here, Todd Baxter, I've said to you repeatedly, including immediately after this happened to me. You love to surround yourself with violent fanatics like $75,904.40 Richard J. Seatman. Doesn't matter to you that they're following me around, that they're stalking me in Penfordtown Court? And where's my due process? Because I'm going to get to that. I stand up at the computer. Richard J. Seaman runs at me. He extends his arm. He slams his arm to the side of my head. So it's the force of Richard J. Seaman slamming me in the head. I fell backwards and my head hit the ceramic tile of the Penfield Private Library floor. They put the handcuffs on me. They walked me out of the library where my ex-girlfriend Laura Riley used to work, and that's why we moved to Penfield. And as I'm being frog marched out of the library, I'm thinking, I'm so glad Laura's not here to see this. The door opens, I'm taken down the hall, and there is $28,000 bald-headed, skin-headed widow, Paul C. Metzer, waiting for me without a prosecutor from the district attorney's office present. This nauseating, sickening degenerate, Paul C. Metzer, is one person decided I should be in jail. And it's not going to be your Monroe County Jail. Paul C. Metzer has a prepared statement to read to me that I didn't hear because I talked over her. I'm declared guilty of something, I don't know what it is, and then I'm driven to Livingston County Jail in Geneseo, where I witnessed numerous violent acts, including one where I had to give a statement, where an inmate was walking behind another inmate, knocked him down, put him in a headlock, and then pounded on his head ferociously about 10 times. An investigator came to jail and asked me about that. Other things happened. I'm in Livingston County Jail in Geneseo, giving a statement to an investigator about a violent attack at that jail because of one person, Paul C. Metzer in Penfordtown Court. And, two people, Richard J. Seaman and Paul C. Metzer. What do you think about what I'm telling you, Sandra Dorley? Where's my due process? This revolting hack, this skinhead, this widow, Paul C. Metzer, is convening Penfordtown Court, and the district attorney's office is not notified because there's no prosecutor. Two people decide a citizen's going to be in jail. Violent psychopath Richard J. Seaman and bald-headed widow Paul C. Metzler? What would you think if what happened to me happened to Zachary Baxter, Sheriff Todd Baxter? What would you think would happen to me happened to Kevin Baxter, Sheriff Todd Baxter? What would you think would happen to me happened to Erin Dorley, District Attorney Sandra Dorley? So, Sarah Avila Weedle, 75,544. Terrence Tate Smith, 75,544. Sabrina Veltri, 75,544. David A. Wickham, 75,544. Raymond Ruiz, 75,544. Patricia Joan Meyer, 75,544. Stephanie R. Tompkins, 75,544. Todd S. Diebold, 75,544. Jorge M. Rivera, 75,544. Terrence H. Peck, 81,967. Philip M. Ratudaria, 75,904. Michael Dunbar, 75,904. John J. Sanders, 75,904. Dean A. Wake, 75,904. Laura L. Sanders, 75,544. Tracy Caviccioli, 75,904. Litrienda S. King, 75,904. Michael D. Grop, 75,544. Thomas M. Crandall, 75,544. Charles R. Noble, 75,904. Craig A. Whipple, 75,544. William T. Palmer, 75,544. Michael Ferrari, 75,544. Jason D. Haynes, 75,544. David E. Johnson, 75,544. Todd M. Sabatoli, 75,904. Brian R. McNamara, 75,904. Caitlin A. Dreesen, 75,544. Matthew M. McClellan, 75,544. Mark R. Sands, 75,904. Avis Robinson, 75,904. Angela M. Chavioli, 75,904. James A. McCarthy, 81,588. Paul A. Phillips, 75,544. Nicole C. Crowley, 75,544. Robert T. Ewing, 75,544. Peter A. DeCoste Jr., 87,631. Kenneth M. Schreiner, 116,351. J. A. Scott, 75,544. Filippo Lombardo, 75,544. Eric L. Knox, 75,544. Timothy J. McNair, 75,544. Marion House, 75,544. Andrew R. Kimmel, 81,588. Jessica P. Haynes, 75,544. Michael C. Gray, 75,904. Christopher R. Jimenez, 75,544. Anthony Lattori, 75,544. Jeffrey DeBill, 75,544. James E. Kurtz, 87,631. Ben France, 75,904. Robert C. Rosler, 87,632. Lakeisha Shepard, 75,544. Renee A. Baird, 75,544. Mandy L. Crum, 75,544. Scott M. Willis, 75,544. Anthony J. Russo, 81,588. Timothy M. Romack, 75,544. Brian J. Florak, 75,544. Sonia Medina, 75,904. James L. Masco, 87,631. Joel N. Kluth, 116,350. John R. Wad, 75,544. How's the morale at the sheriff's office? Because it's natural to be enraged about an employee that's paid more money than you, and you think that employee, you think you're superior to that employee. Ronald C. Wilcox Jr., 75,904. Jesus Lopez, 75,544. John M. Wilson, 75,544. Joseph M. Marino, 87,631. Gerald A. Grimshaw, 88,048. Tim S. Frito, 119,069. Amy M. Berardi, 75,904. David J. Munnings II, 81,967. Sean D. Fennessy, 88,049. This is a good guy, Sean Fennessy. Thank you, Sean, for the way you treated me. Michael A. DeRusi, 75,904. Justin Gaddy, 87,632. Mark J. Hoffman, 75,544. Charmaine Nowak, 75,544. Jamie L. Bianchi, 75,544. Kathleen A. Prince, 87,631. Don M. Benedetto, 86,631. This is psychopath. As I just said when I began to read these. This is the nightmare corrupt cop, along with Michael Houlihan, in the United States of America. He should be fired immediately. You will not fire Don Benedetto for stalking me on Pempton, New York, for hiding on my 72-year-old neighbor's property, for chasing me up on my back porch with Michael Houlihan. He will concoct crimes for other citizens along with Michael Houlihan. They both will. So, Richard A. Pizzullo, 75,544. Thomas M. Parker, 75,544. William J. Story, 75,544. Christine M. Yeager, 75,444. Raymond J. Young, 75,544. Sean P. Merchant, 116,894. Guy J. Carlo, 121,451. Matthew D. Knapp, 88,049. These next three have the same salary. Ralph Rizzullo, John M. D. Martino, Thomas A. Sarkis, 121,451. Frank D. Chimino, 75,184. Salvador Chianca, 75,184. William D. Bulk, 81,588. William J. Curran, 75,544. William J. Angela L. Craig, 75,544. Robert J. Piano, 75,544. Ryan A. Moses, 74,824. Yvonne V. Kushner, 87,214. Michelle M. DeMarco, 75,184. Jenna M. Belmonte, 73,710. James M. Atkins, 75,184. Jeffrey R. Billings, 75,184. Bobby Joe Weissman, 75,184. Kevin M. Blyer, 75,184. Daniel R. Kambisi, 75,184. Yolanda E. Dade, 75,184. Matthew J. Dufresne, 75,184. Michael J. Emerson, 75,184. Kevin S. King, 75,184. Jeffrey C. Knopf, 81,199. How's the morale at the sheriff's office? How you doing? It's only natural to be in a rage about an employee you believe you're superior to, and that person's making $5,000 more than you, or $10,000 more than you, or $15,000 more than you, or $20,000 more than you. Richard J. Lodato, 87,214. Sharita L. McLean, 75,184. Eric M. Schultz, 87,214. Sarah T. Schreiner, 75,184. Donald W. Zimmerman, 75,184. Benjamin J. Amico, 75,184. Kyle J. Brum, 75,184. Joseph R. Capone, 87,214. Scott J. Cordero, 81,199. Ryan C. Feeney, 75,184. Mark H. Kuster, 75,184. Patrick A. Potenza, 75,184. Jeffrey A. Fisher, 75,184. And Adam C. Geiger, 75,184. Kyle T. Reynolds, 75,184. Daniel R. Rakota, 75,184. Michael G. Scarpola, 87,214. Wadeed Sarkis, 75,184. Jeremy R. Sullivan, 75,184. Maisha Singleton, 75,184. Marshall D. Cowie, 80,81. Andrew J. Culp, 87,214. Renee J. Lembicki, 75,184. Michael J. Meal, 75,184. John S. Pixley, 75,184. David M. Reiner, 75,184. Catherine A. Berm, 75,184. Eric J. Smith, 75,184. Mark D. Whitaker, 75,184. Nicholas S. Paterko, 74,824. Daniel V. Berger, 81,199. Philip H. Blank, 75,184. Matthew J. Borsick, 75,184. Roger J. Juge, 87,214. Michael J. Kaiser Jr., 75,184. Amanda Marie Smith, 87,214. Shanky R. Watkins, 75,184. Aaron B. Daigle, 75824. William A. Chris, 77719. Daniel L. Lodato, 75825. Jeffrey L. Fowler Jr., 74824. Laverne S. Jackson Jr., 74824. Rick Mercenti, 74824. Kyle C. Sandell, 74824. Todd R. Smith, 74824. Tyler W. Amatori, 68440. Justin Alexander Young, 55935. How's the morale at the sheriff's office? Because it's only natural to be enraged about an employee you think you're superior to, and that employee's making more money than you by $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $30,000, $40,000. Thomas L. Davis, 74825. Anthony J. Drexel, 62635. Justin A. Strands, 8081. 8811. Brooke B. Zadell, 74824. Daniel J. Sicka, 74824. David C. Newell, 74824. Christopher J. Murphy, 74825. Matthew P. Minnis, 8081. Alexander J. Lito, 74824. John E. Hahn II, 8081. Ryan V. Hewitt, 8881. Joanne M. Ogulia Smith, 71962. Christopher M. Shadow, 77719. Michael A. Potenza, 71962. George A. Delvecchio, 71962. Daniel Jenkins, 71962. Thomas R. Musler, 71962. Christopher M. Shuffra, 71962. Emmett T. Lawless, 71962. Marvin A. Lamanco, 71962. Joshua P. Daniel, 77719. Philip M. Whitehill, 77719. Salvatore Hernandez, 71962. Robert K. Thorpe, 77719. Joseph R. Delek, 71962. Matthew T. Boring, 71962. Brandon J. Bermuda, 77719. Jennifer L. Velke, 74825. Timothy G. Archibald, 71962. Tyler R. Lilly, 71962. Tardis G. Taylor, 77719. David A. Girton, 77719. Robert Davis, 71962. Jesse A. D'Angelo, 71962. Stephen F. D. 7192. Jared T. McCahey, 71962. Christopher V. Massaro, 77719. Matthew T. Philsifter, 68664. Corey J. McEllen, 68440. Corey Denise E. May, 71962. Ashley Philsetter, 71962. Kimberly Wilson Butler, 97399. Britt Kirkpatrick, 59285. Donald Thorpe, 55935. Victor M. Rivera, 59285. Jacqueline A. Goldsmith, 62635. Allison Jones Sharenko, 65140. How's the morale at the sheriff's office? Aaron J. Eberhard, 68440. Jacob R. Hoyt, 68440. Jonathan K. O'Keefe, 68440. Lawrence T. King, 68440. Philip A. Standero, 68440. Jason R. Michaels, 68440. Thomas J. Bear, 68440. Michael F. Renurka, 68439. Thomas W. Rogers, 68440. William W. Holt, 68440. Nicholas M. Bonnet, 68440. Derek J. Mazzio, 62635. Thomas W. Lloyd, 62635. Rhett A. Castrini, 62635. Darren P. Tuller, 62635. Anthony Alvito, 62635. Jamie M. Wagner, 62635. Shauna Jazzlowski, 62635. Jessica Daly, 62635. Ashley L. Crawford, 62635. Peter M. Petralia, 62665. Juan J. Ruiz, 62635. David A. Russell, 62365. John A. Florano, 62665. Aaron K. Boudreaux, 62635. Colton J. Brzezowski, 55935. Alex R. Gulisano, 62635. Hunter J. Marola, 59285. Sean M. Bishop, 62635. Giuseppe Salvia, 62635. Justin A. Torres, 62665. Anthony T. Jordan Jr., 62635. George P. Coluccio, 62635. Ryan J. Demore, 62365. Brandon S. Romiero, 62365. Arif Kelbas, 62365. Rihanna T. Ribby, 52241. Ryan D. Donovan, 55935. Kenan Rizvankowitz, 59285. Jeffrey L. Mert, 59286. David Ullman, 59285. Jesse Young, 59285. John S. Salmonori, 59286. Christopher J. Kuzin, 59285. Brian Kazik, 59285. Daniel P. Michelli, 59286. Greg Adams, 59285. How's the morale at the sheriff's office? I know you psychopaths want to violently attack me for what I'm doing to you, because you're psychopaths. Matthew C. Kaiser, 59,285. Benjamin Hamlin, 59,285. Daniel M. Roth, 59,285. David F. Cangelosi Jr., 59,285. Haley D. Burgess, 59,286. Tamara Irizarry, 59,285. David M. Schmidt, 59,285. John F. McCrone, 59,285. Xavier P. Minjor, 59,285. Amber Hamzik, 59,285. William M. Dunbar, 55,935. Joshua M. Prestalco, 55,935. Thomas M. Evangelista, 52,241. Samuel Charles Missouri, 52,241. Waken Murphy, 52,241. Alan Paul Alwood, 55,935. Felix Cruz Romero, 55,935. Patricia Michelle DeSanto, 55,935. Joseph Christian DeSalvo, 55,935. Kimura Alex Jackson, 55,935. Melinda Larry Jolly, 55,935. Anthony J. Latona, 55,935. Joseph John Laposa, 55,935. Chad M. Leroy, 55,935. Nicholas Forrest Liddell, 55,935. Jacob David Mangano, 55,935. Brandon T.L. Montesano, 55,935. Amanda J. Montgomery, 55,935. Mary Pettis Liam, 55,935. Jonice L. Smith, 55,935. Raina Dumarque Galente, 55,935. Tariq James Gerard Eli, 55,935. Helena Pacchini, 55,935. James Matz, 52,241. Dylan Michael Bergio, 52,241. Serena Leah Ruiz, 52,241. Brandon Anthony Lapito, 52,241. Michael Austin Bonus, 52,241. Chase Reed Hunters, 52,241. Deontay Jenkins, 52,241. Blair Caleb Johnson, 52,241. Hunter Todd Lombardo, 52,241. Kyle Lawton Loretto, 52,241. Jeremy Matthew Powers, 52,240. Rosada. Daniel Frank Rosada, 52,240. Daniel Frank Strickle. Marcus Dean, 52,241, 52,240. Tibor Torek, 52,241. Jonathan Patrick Robinson, 52,241. Nicole Prenny, Turlington, 52,240. David M. Moore, 52,240. Mitchell Burton, DeRusi, 33,319. Jason D. Smith, 69,14194. William H. Seidel, 61,947. Zarik Yahawa S. Hort, 65,808. James M. Champagne, 71,947. Colby J. Arnold, 59,285. Abigail S. Timberlake, 67,138. Caroline L. Hunter Brown, 75,944. Julie A. Millar, 75,904. Todd J. Schauber, 75,944. Richard L. Shapansky, 75,904. Leslie M. Avila, 75,904. Michelle D. Albertelli, 75,904. James A. Camardo, 75,904. Daniel J. Shant, 75,544. Robert E. Kearney, 75,544. Shane M. Pfeffer, 81,588. James W. Morelli, 88,048. Christine M. Sampiri, 75,184. Michelle E. Debe, 75,184. Brian T. Kirkselli, 75,184. Vicky A. Seaborn, 75,185. Michael D. Westcott, 75,184. Kathleen E. Reed, 75,184. Jamie L. McPhail, 74,824093. Jeremy D. Mickles, 74,824. Jennifer Rosner, 74,824. Allison O'Connell, 68,440. Brian J. Grassley, 71,962. Sean R. Zelensky, 75,544. Denise C. Vandermeer, 75,444. Mark J. Brzezowski, 74,904. Mark Z. Shell, 75,904. Lynn H. Reister, 75,904. Travis C. Burleson, 75,544. Kelly M. Young, 75,544. Rieli Ashley, 75,184. Mark V. Amicos, 8081. James J. Matritricia, 57,568. James Scott A. Knapp, 5169. Kevin G. Dorr, 49,185. Matthew R. Kramer, 42,924. James R. Wilson, 42,924. Lois A. Long, 4621. How's the morale at the sheriff's office? It's only natural to be enraged about an employee that's making more money than you and you think you're superior to that employee. Trudy A. DeBertinis, 74,509. Jeffrey Aaron Ingham, 79,188. Michael W. DeHolt, 75,009. James A. DeCan, 79,188. Joseph A. Spano, 7509. Christopher D. Jocolano, 7509. Mary Jean O'Neill, 7509. Christopher R. Zingrossi, 7509. Christopher F. Howell, 79188. David L. Carter, 7509. Shelley A. Hafter, 7059. Lorraine M. James, 7509. Shirley A. Pipkins, 7509. Katie R. Levine, 7509. Karen J. Vargo, 95467. Matthew R. Iachetta, 7509. Tina M. Ford, 7509. Daniel J. Giblin, 7509. David P. Burbot, 7509. Stephen R. Eddy, 7509. Michael Keller, 7509. John F. Peatsole, 7509. Sarah B. Smith, 7509. Frank M. Butera, 7509. Jessica M. Lewis, 7172. Michael T. Fidel, 7509. Stephen T. Brown, 7509. Alicia A. Garcia, 7172. Lori A. Morin, 7509. Kevin Cudney, 7172. Richard A. Rosie, 7172. Ronald J. Newman, 7172. Christine L. Neary, 7172. Michael J. Sparino, 7172. Walter M. McDonald, 7172. Kurt A. Whitler, 7172. Sanders Tisdale, 7172. Stephen J. Barrett, 7810. Brian D. Richards, 7172. Kelly S. Randall, 75056. Jamie C. Clark, 7172. Roderick Kennedy, 7172. David V. Nachita, 69497. Lisa A. Sieben, 7172. Jennifer Meisner, 75509. Joseph M. Barbagano, 7172. Laura C. Joseph, 7172. How's the morale at the sheriff's office? Because it's natural to be enraged about an employee who's making more money than you and you think you're superior to that employee. Stephen M. Howell, 7172. James M. Eskin, 7172. James R. Owen, 7172. Frank L. Trinka, 7172. Lisa A. Waters, 7172. Tyra Russo, 69835. Stacy Drujic, 66188. Dominic Guitarra, 69832. Peter Chara, 69834. Kelly Cook, 69834. Giovanni Valenti, 69834. Matthew Sheng, 69497. Jonathan A. Schultz, 73052. Ryan K. Gonzalez, 69834. Donald Bratt, 69497. Jamie N. Gauthier, 65046. Cynthia L. Bertino, 69497. Sarah T. C. Hartung, 69497. Brittany C. Andolina, 69497. Christopher J. Berghoff, 69497. Kenneth A. Farrell, 69497. John Lander, 72699. Ashley Minerka, 69497. Crystal Noel McDonald, 69497. Robert B. Miller, 69497. Thomas J. Nash, 64731. Robert J. Newton, 69497. Sarah K. Johan, 69497. Michael J. Grimes, 63336. Damaris E. Clark, 60335. Christopher G. R. Tento, 6335. Valerie Berger, 6335. Christy A. Schwarm, 6335. Marvin Patterson Jr., 198,739. Christopher Palazzo Nickel, 55316. Michael Timothy Reed, 55316. Kerry Lynn Belavia, 55316. Jose Fontanes, 55316. Raymond W. Dry, $70,509. Sean C. Mosley, 7509. Anthony R. Labruti, 7509. Michelle M. Boyley, 79188. Matthew D. French, 75904. Colleen M. Graham, 75904. Andrea Dandria, 88049. Todd W. Kearney, 75544. Anthony P. Latona, 116894. How's the morale at the sheriff's office? Because it's only natural to be in a rage about an employee who's paid more money than you and you think you're superior than that employee at work. The final page. Katie L. Thomas, 82043. Robert E. Anderson, 8093412. Samuel J. Bell, 142575. Samuel J. Bell, who makes $10,000 more than you, Todd Baxter. How do you explain yourself to the controller? How do you possibly explain how you're fleecing the taxpayers of Monroe County and the state of New York? Andrew D. Foote, 84077. Michael D. Wicks, 118678. Christopher A. Valso, 97882. Holly J. Roth, 553963. Richard B. Essam, 83684. Laurie A. Longbow, 4621. Amanda Jean Starr, 80219. Kenneth H. Van Duzer, 74545. Richard C. Stick, 53078. Joseph V. Recchia, 53077. Daniel Tissing, 49185. Thomas L. Gordon, 5169. Priyana G. Monaco, 35310. Eric Rothfuss II, 46348. Anthony Michael Fattori, 42011. Bailey Willis, 38842. Mary G. Forelli, 42701. Lucy Polrick, 43108. Marie R. Altozaro, 5738. Leanne Spicer, 39044. Justin Pecorella, 34391. Anthony Ampecchia, 34030. Tara S. Mack, 35391. Lori Cruz, 34030. Kelly M. Hagenbuck, 35331. Lucy M. Mercado, 34029. Christina Ann Capuno, 34030. Shelby Nettles, 34030. Maria E. Morales Guerrero, 35391. Gerald Bird, 35734. Rhonda J. Carabol, 34030. Adam Gaggy, 32730. Michaela Kastner, 32737. And the final name, Kimberly Greer, 48497. So, I was going to read the district attorney's office salaries, but I'm going to put that in a separate link. Those are just the salaries that are the base salaries, Todd Baxter. And I'm demanding from you for 18 plus months how you pay every single one of these employees with time and a half or overtime or however that's calculating. You've been refusing for 18 months because you're corrupt. My name is Christopher Chichester. A prosecutor has never talked in court for me. And I have been in jail 6 times. I have been an innocent man my whole life.